But going back to the birds, I want to know how you feel about Jalen Hurts, because it's like the honeymoon. I saw a couple of reports earlier about, and this is no secret, that Jalen Hurts, it's a prove-it year for him. It's a make-or-break year for him in his third season. It's like, if he doesn't show himself to be the long-term answer this year, given everything the organization has done around him, then they're well-equipped with those 2 first-round picks to take advantage of that loaded 23 quarterback class. And I'm just like, there's something that just doesn't sit well with me about that. And maybe it's that I love Jalen Hurts. I've loved him since he stepped in and won the SEC championship in the same stadium that he got benched in for Tua Tagovailoa the year before, and then goes on and becomes a Heisman finalist at Oklahoma. Maybe I just love what the kid is made of so much, but I'm just not feeling the idea of going into a season where the quarterback at least fake like you're committed to him. You know what I mean? Why put it out there that it's like, yeah, you know what? He's got no excuses. I mean, he's got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and an offensive line, and look what we did to help him on defense. And if he don't step up, well, then we just gonna go a different direction. Like, what happened to the days of allowing quarterbacks to grow and develop as opposed to always having a wandering eye? This 80-20 rule. Like, if a dude don't complete 70% as a rookie, they got an 80-20 rule with him, where they're always looking for an upgrade somewhere else. I like this kid. Is he the most accurate? No. Is he the most consistent? No. He's also 24 years old, right? Or 23 years old. Like, he just had his first year as a starter and then went to the playoffs despite some of his shortcomings. How you feel about Jalen Hurts? But more important, how you feel about how the Eagles and just the Eagles organization and fan base are supporting Jalen Hurts but not? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, listen. Let me tell you how I feel about Jalen Hurts first. One of my favorite quarterbacks in football, one of my favorite quarterback people in football. I love the way he handles himself most of the time. You ever watch his interviews? He just gets it. He has a great presence about him. I can see how he has become a leader. Yeah, that's why the
Eagles are lucky because he can handle this, Mike. Real quick, I was gonna say he can handle this, Mike. Like most quarterbacks may be affected by this kind of talk of like, you got to get it done this year. He's been through so much, so he's built for Philadelphia in a way that his predecessors and his immediate predecessor was not.
His predecessor really struggled with. But I can see why he was a leader at Alabama, a leader at Oklahoma, and emerging as a leader in Philadelphia. And the one thing that stood out to me about last year, turning negative, a very deep, long-running negative into a positive. When that situation happened at Washington's terrible football stadium, the previous Washington football team, now the Commanders, and he's walking out, and the stands collapse. And there are fans on the ground. First of all, he ducks the collapse, avoiding a major injury. Stands there, poses with the fans, takes pictures, walks back, and then writes a letter talking about how problematic the situation is. Good job, Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, I like him too. But this is what I figured out. Just listening to you talk about this, I think there are 7 permanent quarterback positions in the
7
NFL.
Supreme Court justices.
Everybody else is an independent
lifetime
contractor.
Appointments.
That's it. 7, maybe. And then everybody else, independent contractor, contractor at will, or contractor against you, or we have decided we're going to go somewhere. We're going to go in a different direction. Like, it's the most fluid position. It's the most important position in football, also the most fluid position in football.
But when did that happen? It wasn't always like that. It doesn't feel like
overnight.
it was always like that.
I'll tell you when it happened. And it all comes back to the TikTok troll we talked about yesterday, Tom Brady. Tom Brady left New England on St. Patrick's Day 2020 and went to Tampa, and then Tampa won the Super Bowl. Everybody was like, wait a minute. Fans were like that. Russell Wilson, remember him watching the game with Ciara and Roger Goodell? And he's just sitting there like, man.
Yeah, but see, I think that's 2 different things. I think the Tom Brady phenomenon, the Matthew Stafford phenomenon, the Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson phenomenon of kind of being envious of that immediate success is different than this year was an aberration, because it's like I think it might have a lot to do with just the amount of young quarterbacks who come into the league year in and year out, who we think are ready to play, and in many cases ready to play immediately, but also from a contract standpoint, fewer and fewer teams are committing to them early. You know, see Baker Mayfield. Wasn't that long ago where Baker Mayfield, he was going to be one of those guys you were talking about since he had solved Cleveland's revolving door, only for them not to commit, you know, or even the Jets. The Jets traded up to get Sam Darnold. Now he's on another team already, you know, before he even gets to his fifth-year option. I think it's just they're always looking at the next class. They're always looking at what's new and what's next, not necessarily who's the veteran that's available, because those are only a handful of guys like Brady or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
Or greatness, and not necessarily a veteran, great quarterback. I think what happened there in the Brady situation, like Tampa was 7-9 the year before, and you can't just say, hey, just dropped in the quarterback and they became a championship team. They made some other additions, some smart draft choices, picked up an all-pro right tackle, all that stuff. But in the draft, it allowed other teams to think we're a quarterback away. We're a great quarterback away from getting ourselves to a championship level, whether it's a 40-something-year-old quarterback like Tom Brady, or a 30-something-year-old quarterback like Russell Wilson, or a great transcendent talent in the draft. So this upcoming draft is supposed to have a few of those guys. So I can understand, it's too bad, but I can understand why Howie Roseman looks at it and says, yeah, well, Jalen Hurts doesn't get it done, I might have to target one of those guys in the draft who I think can. Who's a notch above.
Yeah. I look at his former teammate Tua Tagovailoa. Same type of thing. It's like, it just felt, I get that. It's a bottom line business. It's what have you done for me lately? You know, we're less patient. We're a microwave society. I get all of that, but it's like, you know, has Tua ever really gotten an opportunity to develop that word, man? We don't do that anymore. It's like, gotta find the next one. Gotta find the next one. You know? And
it's too bad for him. Even if he does get it done this year, Tom Brady's taking his job at 23. It's too bad. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.